Hello my dear learners, welcome to my incredible class. Well, today is Sunday and in last Sunday I discussed with you something very important, that how you can learn something new and remember it for a longer time. Well, I discussed with you 3 important techniques. Hope you must have seen that video. Today's video is in continuation with that. Now this video is especially for students who want to perform better in their exams. Today I am going to discuss with you how our brain actually works. Well, I am not going to discuss any biological aspects or structure of brain. Rather, I am going to tell you what criteria our brain follows to remember the new information for a longer time. See, imagine a library where all the books are scattered on the floor. Now you enter, you want to read a novel. Can you find a novel in that messy room? See, you can find it, but you can search through the books, but it will take a lot of time. Now imagine the same library in which the books are properly arranged on shelves and are arranged according to the categories. Now you want to read an English novel, then you can immediately go to the literature section and take a novel and enjoy it. Yes? Similarly, our brain works. You know, when we consume something new, when we learn something new, our brain tries to simplify that complex information. Otherwise, it gets confused. How can I store it? This is the first question that arises. So, we can follow these 3 important steps to help our brain to retain information for a longer time. What steps? 3 simple steps, not 6. Association, practice, and revision. You must have heard it before, right? Now, you must have heard it, but are you using it effectively? If you understand how our brain actually works, you will use these techniques effectively. So, let's take one by one. Let's discuss about association. You know, an experiment was conducted in which a class was divided into 2 groups. And both of them were asked to find the word fast from a set of puzzled letters. But the twist is that to the first group, a help was given as a clue. Some clue was given. And the second group did not receive any help at all. And what happened? The first group was able to find the word much faster than the second group. Why? Because their brain was able to make a connection between the clue and the new set of words. Since their brain was able to make that connection, they were able to find the word much faster. See, when we learn something new, our brain finds it very difficult to store it. It gets confused. It could not connect with anything. So it is important for us to connect that new information with something familiar. For example, you want to learn about electricity. How electrons flow in a circuit, you want to understand. Now you can connect it with a tap of water, no? Or the pipeline. The electrons is moving in a circuit in a similar way, water flowing in a pipeline. So you can connect with day-to-day life. Yes, you want to learn about atoms, protons or electrons. You can connect it with the solar system. So it is very important for you to make a connection between the new information with something familiar. You can use story, you can use mnemonics, you can use song, okay, anything in simplified way. Now let's discuss about the second most important criteria, that is practice, and most of us find it difficult. You know, in a ceramics class, a teacher divided the class into two groups, and to the first group it was told that they have to make one perfect pot, but to the second group it was told to make lot of pots. Okay, you have to make more quantity, you have to focus on the quantity, but to the first group it was told to focus on the quality. And you know which group gave the best pot? It was the second group, not the first group. Why? Because first group was only learning theory, they were not practicing, but the second group was trying, making mistakes. Okay, they were learning from their mistakes, they were making something and somehow it fails, they learned from that mistake and tried something new. So they were repeating and trying to understand through their mistakes. When we practice things, we make mistakes and our brain get clarification from that mistakes, that which path to be followed and which path to be not to be followed. Okay, our brain gets clarification. When our brain gets the clarity, it is able to do better. So that is why practice is important. When we practice questions, when we practice things, we make mistakes, and mistakes are actually the stepping stones to success. You know, we learn through our mistakes. So it is very, very important for us to make the best pot, and for that we have to practice it, and this is the most important thing. Now the third thing that I told you is revision. See, we have associated it, we have practiced it, we have given a lot of time to learn something new, and we have stored it. Now after some time, if we do not revisit that information, our brain might think, okay, this is not as important as other things, so I can slowly remove that. But if we regularly, okay, after a regular period we revisit or revise that concept or that information, our brain will think that, see, this is very important information, I have to store it properly. So this is how actually our brain works. So if you follow these 3 steps properly, you will definitely perform better in your exams. Connect things, practice things, and revise regularly.